Misfits, and welcome to the Misfit Adventurers podcast, a TTRPG podcast where our group of friends sit around and play some of our favorite games set in our own homebrew settings. I am the Dungeon Master, Amanda, and I hope that you will join us and enjoy the stories we have to offer. You ready?
Yeah.
You ready?
Maybe.
You ready?
Hit me with it.
Well, I'll recap first. All right, the last time we were all together, the party immediately tried to chase after Allie with limited success. They briefly contemplated piracy, threw that out the window, instead opted for tracking down the Duchess and asking for a favor. You went out on her ship. You could not find him. He was outside of that 1,000-foot radius, and couldn't find him. Tried to trick him into coming back, and he kind of saw through your lie.
Such a plan.
Yeah. But you went back to shore. You had a long chat with a few different people: Mortimer, Escher, Noel, and Ren, kind of filling them in on the situation surrounding Allie and these earrings, and sort of warning them of potential dangers there and asking them to keep an eye out. And you sort of started to formulate a bit of a plan for either sneaking aboard Father Mackenzie's ship or maybe trying to distract him with conversation. A few different options were tossed around. You also set up a or planned to do like a get-together or dinner with Fortune's Favored, which is what we ended with. But I've had some people ask me if they could have sort of done some things prior to dinner, and I'm going to allow that to happen. So, Theron, you wanted to potentially see if you could watch Father Mackenzie's ship earlier in the day.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to see, like, number
now, I
of crew,
did warn her,
exits,
if she wanted to sort of spy on his ship, there's potential of that going both ways. So,
if that's the thing that y'all are okay with, I'd like to at least look before before we try to sneak on this ship.
Yeah, sure.
And,
Please.
walk into a trap or something.
all right. You need to give me, you're just watching the ship, like, from a distance, or?
Yeah, kind of from a distance. I'd probably just, for his crew's sake, do a disguise self so I don't look like me. But
disguise self, and okay,
just like looking for number of crew, entrances and exits.
Sure, you
like
can
that.
give me a perception check, and why don't you also give me like a stealth check, just to try and not be a standout and nonchalant, even though you're disguised still.
Okay, I'll do stealth first. That is +9. What's 8 + 9? Is that 17? 17.
All right.
And then perception is a 10. Not great.
Perception 10.
Or the shadow.
That's crazy. I rolled the exact same thing. Not the same thing as you, but I had two different people roll it.
I see.
They got the exact same thing. All right. Well, fortunate news is you feel like you're well hidden. But with a 10 perception, it's pretty difficult to get a clear idea of the exact number of his crew and gauge their patterns.
Okay.
I'll say you can tell that he probably has more than like probably more than 10 crew, but it's hard to know the full extent.
Okay. Any, like, other entrances or exits that I see besides the main?
I mean, there's plenty of portholes and, like, windows and things, but, with a 10, it's hard to gauge specifics on where those would go and what's on the other side.
Okay, cool.
Isla, do you want to do...
I'll talk about it. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I guess I would first talk to probably Escher and be like, hey, is this like a thing that you could do?
Explain the thing that you want to do.
Oh, no.
So,
Just so everybody can hear it.
Great. I wrote a letter to Allie, and I wanted to know if you could, like, get it to him via, like, a carrier pigeon or something.
Escher's like, okay, well, that's sweet. I don't think that's how carrier pigeons work, though. That's not really, you know, they go back home. They don't go to new places they've never seen.
Oh. Is there any way to get it to him, like, magically?
The
or
physical
something?
letter that you've written?
Yeah.
I don't have, like, a teleport letter spell.
Oh.
I'm sorry. You're making me feel guilty, and I don't really like that. I mean, you can just send, right?
Like,
But you'd have to probably use multiple sendings, because this seems to exceed 25 words. And
yeah, and you see her, like, start counting the words.
Look, I understand that you seem to have, like, a connection to this individual, but you are aware that there's some sort of, like, eldritch horror god that's potentially en route to this world, right?
Yeah, but if we don't help him, he's gonna murder a lot of people.
If we don't stop Cthulhu, he's going to murder a lot of people.
Yes, I understand that. I do, but, like, he did this to help me, and now it's y'all are killing me. He did this to help me, and now I know he doesn't want to do these things. It's gonna really hurt him.
Look, no offense, but I still don't really know you people very well, and you just keep barging in and giving me problems that I'm supposed to solve. I have a full-time job. And it's not helping you. Sorry, I've been in a lot of meetings, and they're kind of just back to back, because I don't really, like, sleep. That's not really a thing, so it's just meeting after meeting. And look, this seems very important to you. I'm not trying to minimize your hurt or whatever, but can we, like, table this? And because I have a 3 o'clock, and it's like 2:30, and I just don't.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine. I was really just kind of hoping you had some sort of bird to fly it to him, but I see that's not a thing now.
I don't keep avian companions. I'm sorry. It's
Okay.
not. I don't really like. I'm not a big fan of birds, you know? I lived in a place where there were just a shit ton of ravens, and I honestly hated all of them. And they had far more distinct personalities than the ravens in this world. And I'm not really a big bird person. They just sort of poop everywhere, and I think it's gross.
That's valid. That is. I really do appreciate you helping us as much as you have. I know we just kind of showed up and then caused about 50 billion problems.
Yeah, that's essentially what happened, so...
Sorry, thanks, and then she'll leave.
Wow.
But
Cold
she's
as
like
ice.
really, really like depressed as she's leaving.
Okay, so that happens earlier in the day. We go back to the evening, and this is when you were enjoying your dinner with Fortune's Favored. So Ren, Noel, Carol, Kai, Calloway. Yes, and the other two died. Yep, sorry. And then all of you, and you're enjoying your dinner, and then this is where this hooded figure kind of barges through the door, and you all feel this sort of cold sensation as this person enters the tavern. And this is where you see Ren suddenly get really freaked out. And it is revealed to be Ren's father. Ren's father removes his hood, and you see an older man, probably in his early to mid-70s, with dark gray hair and a face marked with worry lines. There's a coldness or maybe hollowness to his eyes that suggest a lifetime of hardships and tribulations. Ren nervously runs a hand through his hair. Noel and I were gonna tell the family once we had everything under control. Under control? They're contacting the Order. They want to have a summit with everyone that signed the Accords. Mortimer just asked me to go and get... And he looks around the room to the rest of you and stops himself. We should go somewhere more private to discuss this. Wait, they're a part of this too, Dad. We've all been working together, but it's under control right now, right, guys? And Ren's sort of looking at all of you expectantly, and probably the most nervous and, like, uncomposed you've ever seen Ren.
Yeah.
Can I ask, just for my clarity, what exactly are they talking about? Are they talking about Arthok? I mean, I guess they wouldn't be talking
Make an
about...
insight check. Anybody can make an insight check.
Because I mean, I guess they would have to be. I don't think they know shit.
I can't believe I rolled well. I got a 17 insight.
I also got a 17.
22.
That's better than me. Nice.
The one time we didn't
22.
need to roll well, Case.
Right?
18.
18. All right. So a lot of you get the gist. That it seems like this has to do with Arthok and all the threats to Aurelia that you have warned Mortimer and now Escher about. But there seems to be potentially something else that's being talked about that, or alluded to, that you're unsure of. Also, with, like, especially with the 22 insight that Darren got, you can tell that this individual, Ren's dad, though he's being very stern and kind of cold, there's something in his expression that suggests that this is coming from a place of worry and concern for his son rather than, like, anger and disappointment outright. So you catch, and I mean especially you, Darren, you just catch, like, this is a protective dad.
I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
So much.
Guys, we've got it under control, right? Says Ren.
I mean, for the moment.
Ko just like puts his head in his hands, and he's like, "For the moment, I'm sorry. Who are all of you?"
Oh, sorry, we haven't met. I'm Darren Sycamore.
Okay.
I'm Isla.
Chiyamikani, a pleasure.
Hoot. And does with his wing bends over, of course.
Of course.
Revan.
Here.
Great. Wait, are you...
The Yo-Ho-Hos.
Okay, so you're those people. Okay.
So you've heard of us.
All
right.
bad things, I'm sure.
We need to go somewhere. We need to go somewhere more private. And Ko waltzes up to the barkeep and drops a sack of gold. And you see a sort of a hushed conversation. And the barkeep quickly shows y'all to a private room in the back. And you're all brought in.
VIP.
Very casual.
So you're brought into this other room, and this individual, Ren's father, is just sort of like pacing at the far end of the room. We'll leave in a second and come back. Or should we leave now and come back in?
That's a you call.
Yeah, it's Yuko.
I mean, we're probably about to get into a bunch of exposition, so why don't we quickly dip out and come back in?
Oh God, I gotta write some shit down.
Yeah, so Ren's father is sort of like pacing the far end of the room. And just sort of is walking back and forth. And Ren's just sort of like, so, look, Dad, I know this is a really stressful situation, and you have a right to be concerned, but we're handling it. I mean, we just captured Arthok, and we're gonna lock him away somewhere. We're in control of the situation, and Ren's father is just sort of like not really buying it. Maybe we're in control of the situation right now, but it sounds like there are some pretty serious threats from outside the realm that could be coming here, and it just feels a little bit like last time, and I'm just not really... When you said that you wanted to be an adventurer and go see the world, I kind of thought maybe there would just be a little bit more safety involved. And he seems to be struggling with some things.
Ren, what happened last time?
I think he's talking about the war. By the way, guys, this is my dad, Konari. Konari, Dad, you met all of them. Did you say that Mortimer told you something? Yeah, he's asked me to go find the Mythic Six and bring them home.
Oh, shit.
And so I'm here basically to tell you goodbye and to tell you to be safe, because me and your mother and Pierce and Everthar are about to go to a totally different plane and try to track down your aunt and your uncle, and I haven't been this stressed Since Denari's wedding.
Ooh.
Sounds like there's a story there.
It's very complicated. Okay, so what exactly are you guys doing about the situation right now?
That's a really good question. We don't really have much plan.
We've,
Well, I do believe that Ren did say that we have our box sealed away. We were looking for somewhere isolated to place that. Darren, what were you going to say?
Oh yeah, I mean, we had discussed with Mortimer and Escher some possibilities of a more long-term containment arrangement for Arthok. And I think we had decided on
It was
the island south
below.
of Flemwick,
Yeah.
Okay.
but I'm not sure beyond that. We haven't heard anything further from Mortimer or Escher.
You know when you've seen this guy, Arthok.
Yes.
Currently, he's in a jar as water. It's
It's a whole thing.
yeah,
But he was our ship's navigator, yes. We've seen
yes,
him.
big Goliath tentacle coming out of his back. From what we could gather, it seems like he was the Cloud King.
That's what I was about to ask you.
We we're planning on making a little bit of a trip over to Hangman's Alley and maybe find some of his old crew and ask them about him, because from what we'd heard, he supposedly died.
He did, or at least that's what I heard. It was my understanding that he died maybe 30 years ago, but I mean, I have to confess, none of us really kept up with him after the war. We just sort of left him to his own devices. We kind of all either retired or found more pressing matters to attend to. Which maybe that was our mistake. But he was a pretty chaotic individual back then, so... Though he was helpful in our final battle, I don't think I would quite ever classify him as a friend. More like the enemy of my enemy is, that kind of situation.
Yeah, I mean, he seemed really helpful and grandfatherly until he killed one of our crew and pulled out of the tentacles.
Grandfatherly?
He was old.
At the time, yeah. He
That's bizarre.
rescued us from drowning, really. The ship we were in crashed, and
Why?
we woke up in the middle of the ocean.
We think that. So we were on the Actian before it perished, and we think that it has something to do with some kind of eldritch being.
I'm gonna pull out my coin.
He'll
We all
look at
woke up with these. They have a curse attached to them, and there are 8 of them, and 7 of us, and he had the 8th.
Well, whether you're equipped to handle a global threat or not, you're clearly tied to it now, so...
Yeah.
Which, I mean, been there. I will try to get us some more help, but I don't really know where the Mythic Six are. We're gonna start with Celestia and sort of go from there and work our way through the plains. And even though there's little, I guess, physical proof of a actual threat approaching, I don't really want to take any chances.
Can't hurt to be cautious.
Yeah. Ren looks kind of uncomfortable. Dad, you're going on a mission? And Mom? And Uncle Pierce? All of them? And Ko is just sort of like, I can still do things. I look older than I technically am, so don't worry about me. I feel like y'all are in the more dangerous position here.
That's fair.
And Everthar's coming with us, and, you know, if we get hurt, he'll pick us up.
I would like to ask, since we are now part of this, and just so we can all be on the same page, there were some things you said that I thought were a bit curious, and I think I'd like a little more, and we would like a little more clarification on what kind of. Because I think I know this, me, Claudia. I think I know what these are, but I don't know if we all do. You said something about having a summit, contacting the order, an accord. I think we just are a little bit out of the loop.
Yeah. We're planning to, or at least it's been talked about, world leaders sort of gathering together and discussing some of these potential threats with minimal physical evidence. I'm not sure how much help we will garner. But they're contacting the Order of the Platinum Shield. We're trying to kind of assemble everybody that signed the accords. Hang on, let me pull up those. The Aurelian Peace Accords, an alliance of nations that were formed after the War of Dragons. Normally those nations sort of work together to prevent large-scale wars and sort of defend each other should problems arise. And that would be Morrigan, Abrela, Thol, and Dornfaldor.
So I can't write words. Morgan and Abrela. Okay.
And then, the problem is the Council of Harpies, most of them are the Mythic Six, and they're not really here, so I believe you've met Escher.
Yep.
He's been pretty helpful so far.
I know. It's annoying.
Why is that annoying?
I don't know. I guess I'm glad he's helpful. He's being more helpful than Zephyr. But
That's, yeah.
Shots fired.
Isn't he the one that's like in a coma?
Yeah, I think there's good reason for that.
Well, I think he could have, maybe warned some people before he went and had some sort of magical accident.
That's
I guess that's valid, but I doubt he did it on purpose. I mean,
Maybe.
Me as a player, I'm literally listening to this and being like, maybe you should have warned somebody before you got fucking brainwashed. Fucking.
Yeah, just left a note on the fucking kitchen table and
He was a young lad back then.
Gonna go get mind controlled.
Never was a full-grown adult when all that shit
Literally
happened
joined
to
the
him.
fantasy Hitler
that's a
youth.
little post-it. That's it.
I also want to make sure I ask, like, when he said, like, there's some sort of threat from another plane, is he talking about Cthulhu?
Yes.
Are we okay? I just want to make sure that wasn't something
He is.
else. Great, cool. Okay.
Revan, make an insight check.
Cool.
you're in trouble.
Or perception. I'll give you a choice.
Oh, okay.
You're muted.
That would be a 17.
17. You notice that Ren's dad, Konari, every once in a while he keeps glancing in your direction.
Okay.
He's also name dropped an individual that you've heard of in your dreams a couple times.
Oh.
Yes.
Has he? I gotta pull up my notes. Shit.
He's mentioned, I think, twice now,
Damn it.
somebody named Pierce. But you notice that he's also keeps glancing at you. Kind of, we'll say kind of like inquisitively.
That's good. That's it. That makes sense.
Out of character. Am I supposed to fight this guy?
No, it's not like suspicious. It's just sort of like
You want me to-
intrigued or curious, but not like. It's not like a "who the fuck are you?" You know.
Just like
It could be.
Like, who are you?
this motherfucker looked at me wrong. Roll initiative.
Hey, you want to try and fight Ko?
That's how I'm
Go
feeling.
for it.
I was gonna say that's a
Oh.
good way to get your ass beat.
For real.
Oh,
boy's
come on.
like-
He looks old.
He's old, but he's a level 20 sorcerer.
He would disintegrate you in like a heartbeat.
Yeah, he would disintegrate.
He would, yeah.
100%.
Oh my god.
Disintegrate.
Oh god.
I forgot that spell existed.
What a brutal spell.
Well, when is this sort of summit happening? Is there a sort of decided time yet? Or?
I'm not entirely sure. It'll probably be a little while. I think a location they've tossed out is Pelamari, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think was it Mortimer that told us about that? And I was gonna write a thing describing our experience with
Oh, that's sad.
Arthok and with that.
Yeah, I think he
Island.
had talked about, like there were talks of getting people together to sort of converse about this thing. But I think Mortimer, at least at the time when he talked to y'all about it, didn't have like locations or more concrete details. So, but yeah.
Would it
Go ahead.
would it help us to actually be there?
Maybe. Possibly. I probably won't be here. I don't know. It depends on how long it takes to find them. We'll see.
So you mentioned actually the Council of Harpies, and we know Escher, we know Zephyr, and the Mythic Six. Is there anyone else on that council that maybe we should know about? And maybe we
Casimir
can-
Dark is on that council. but I don't know. I'm more often than not, we'll just say he doesn't attend meetings as often these days. He is up in his ears.
Earlier you mentioned a Pierce. Is
Yes.
he going to be coming by before y'all leave, perhaps?
I don't know if he will. Do you know Pierce?
I don't know Pierce, but I've talked to Escher about meeting him before. So I was just curious if you would be another avenue
Roll I'll give you a choice between persuasion or deception, because it is a bit of a gray area, because like in your dreams you have some, like, you know that there is a Pierce that exists, but I guess technically as your current self you don't know Pierce, so, but roll either persuasion or deception to convince him that you do not know Pierce. He's gonna roll.
That is a 19.
A 19.
Now, I don't know what a level 20's stats are going to be.
That's pretty good. But he could always roll shitty. Who knows?
He doesn't look wholly convinced by you saying that you don't know him. He detects that maybe there's slightly more to that.
Ko doesn't trust a stranger? I wonder why.
Weird.
Crazy.
But he'll just sort of look at you and just sort of nod. I can certainly tell him that I ran across a Warforged. I'm sure he would be very interested to meet another of his kind.
As would I. As would I. I have a lot of questions. So,
Yeah,
That would
how
be
old
helpful.
are you again? You always say that.
4. That's what I go with.
This individual, Konari, just sort of nods, but you can tell that he doesn't believe that you're 4 years old. You don't even have to roll insight for that.
Side note, I don't either, but
That's fair. That's fair.
that's beside the point.
Definitely fair.
Well,
he'll
awesome.
just-
I would greatly appreciate that.
Sure. I'm sure... How do I put this? I understand the path of trying to find yourself and piece together what's lost. So I'll try to help you do that.
Thank you.
I wish I could stay, but I'm kind of on a tight schedule. I guess, is there anything else I should know or be wary of? Hopefully I will be tracking down and finding, some pretty powerful allies, but,
Does I don't think he does.
Should we tell him about the
I'm like, did we tell him? Because he's gonna
what the fuck is he gonna do about that?
I'm just
Well, I
glad
mean-
he's aware.
Not get mind
He
controlled
runs
again.
across one of them somehow. Don't touch it.
On another plane?
You never know.
Well, I think he should be aware of like threats of this world. I mean,
Maybe if he
us-
knows about another world-ending thing, he'll look even faster.
there is something else. I don't relish talking about this, but there is some other kind of threat that we are still learning about. but they are these crystals that came into existence once Shantia was created, and there was one for Selune and one for Shar, and they are here somewhere. Well, we know where at least one of them is. Well,
we don't know where. We know who has one of them.
Yes. And the other one we are trying to find, but these are very dangerous artifacts, and so that is something else we've just been made really aware of. So I don't think you'll come across it when you are on your travels, but I do think that is something you should be aware of, so that way there are no more secrets.
Okay. Sure. I'll just make a note of that. He sort of jots down some small notes and descriptors.
We have talked to Escher and
okay.
And question mark? Do we talk more about this? Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely Escher. Okay. We've talked to them about this as well.
Cool. Well, good. I am gonna leave a sending stone with Mortimer. For emergencies only.
Those work across planes? Really?
Sending kind of can. It doesn't always work.
I forgot. I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of
Scrying does not.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
But sending, there is a percentage that it might not work across planes, but it might work.
Got it.
It's not a guarantee, and it's for, I'm gonna stress this, and he looks at Ren and Noel specifically, emergencies only. But it's good to meet you all. It's good to see you safe. And he directs his full attention to Fortune's Favored. And I am very sorry for the losses you have endured. I cannot imagine. And he'll sort of walk forward and pull Ren into a really tight hug. And you hear him say, kind of quietly, more privately, I understand you not wanting to worry us, but please don't ever shut your family out like that. Nothing good can come from it. And he pulls Noel into a hug as well and says, you should know that your mother is pissed. Expect a harsh letter in the next few days. I'm very sorry. And he backs up and says goodbye to you all and leaves.
Got to love her.
So that's your dad, huh, Ren?
Yeah, that's my dad. I think he's really mad.
His ice thing was kind of cool though.
It was very cool.
Yeah, it was kind of creepy. He doesn't cast stuff often. He's not really a very combative person, so it's...
So he was mad.
Yeah, I think he was pretty mad. Honestly, I'm more worried about the in-laws now. And you see Noel just has her head in her hands. She's like, shit, my mother knows.
Is she overbearing?
I don't think that's exactly the correct word, but she really doesn't like being out of the loop. She really doesn't like being left in the dark. And I'm supposed to send a message to her every few days, and I've just sort of purposefully been kind of excluding the stuff that I think would worry her, and fuck. Jeez. I might need to move. She's gonna cut me off, isn't she? Now, dear. I'm sure we can smooth it over. Just let me talk to her. It'll be fine. We'll get over it. We'll get through this.
Yeah, hey, at least you guys know they care about you.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm glad that, hopefully, hopefully the Mythic Six will be coming back. That'll be nice. I haven't seen them in a while. It's been a couple
How long
years.
have they been gone again?
I think it's almost been 3 years, I think, now. So they would be very helpful.
I can't even imagine trying to find them right now. That just seems so...
Yeah, there's a lot of different planes, so I'm not entirely sure how he intends to find them, but, if anybody can find them, I'm sure it's him.
Well, couldn't he do a sending and hope it gets to them and say, "What plane are you on?" And then they could respond?
Maybe. I do believe they take extra precaution to not be, tracked and easy to find. But I don't know. We're crazy. Even though we're related to some of them, we're not fully privy to all of the precautions and security measures used surrounding that. The stuff that they do is kind of beyond us, so... They're kind of weird as well. Putting that out there.
Oh, what does that mean?
No, what does that mean? What?
They're just strange people. I mean, they're fine, but... my uncle's kind of a weird dude. I don't know. He's really good at spellcasting, but he's very insistent on using a gun that he's not good at. And I just,
I knew he was gonna say it.
Yeah.
I think
I
that's...
think you broke Emily.
It's a very pretty gun. I believe it was gifted to him by Tonari, his wife. But, he's not good at it. He's really bad at that.
Did we know that they got married? I didn't think so. Okay, just making sure.
Only 2 people here know that they got married.
That the ones in question. Yeah. Great. Wow. That's a bomb. That was a ember right there. That was a
A little slow burn.
Yeah, right? Damn. Well, I think that would be what you call eccentric, I think. It's a nice gun. It's a nice gun. He probably doesn't want to, want it to go to waste or anything, or to collect dust. I mean...
I don't think you're aware of how many guns he goes through. He doesn't fix them. When they break, he just gets new ones. I don't think he knows that they can be repaired and maintained.
Just roasting Emily.
He has, in his house, there's this room, and there's just a wall covered in guns, and they're just all the guns that he's jammed over the years.
Like a Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Or a Hall of Shame.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Except he thinks it's funny.
It's something. Anyway, well, this isn't exactly the dinner we were hoping for, but, we're gonna leave probably late tomorrow, but I I think you mentioned something earlier about needing to vet people.
Yeah, we need to do that for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we once again need a new ship's navigator. And we don't have a very good track record with them. So.
Be nice to have some outside opinions.
Yeah, I think Kai will just be like, yeah, I think you got, like, shit luck when it comes to navigators, if I'm being perfectly honest.
I would agree.
Yeah.
We'll do our best to, I guess, try to help you pick people that are suitable. Or at least don't seem inherently evil.
We would appreciate that.
That's the bar, right? Just not evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty
At this
low.
point, yeah.
Hoot, hoot, hoot.
Chaotic, neutral, and above.
Ellie's not evil, though.
I mean, he is now.
He's
Speaking of, do any of y'all know how to, like, get a letter to, like, a physical letter to someone when you don't know where they are?
I can't think of
They all just sort of stop and look at you and they're like, I don't think so.
No, there's no, like, special magic spell to do that.
Carol will say, no!
Yes, we got our Carol for the episode.
Okay.
one word.
I mean, what's that saying? If it looks like a duck and it walks like a
And it
duck,
quacks like a duck.
like a duck.
And it is a duck.
That's a weird looking fucking beaver you got there.
but we'll find him one of these days. He can't be away from us for too long, I imagine.
And maybe we have to kill him like he did you.
And I will bring him back, and it'll be okay.
Yeah.
See, we got it all worked out. It's gonna be fine, guys. Don't worry about it. And, you know, we're headed to, Meldorai. We'll keep an eye out, on the way. And, you know, hopefully that'll work itself out. We'll probably go down to the docks, tomorrow morning, listen to some people, or help you interview people and put together a nice solid list, to give you guys, so.
Thank you.
Well, you know, sorry again for this odd dinner.
No.
But, you know, I'm glad we got to hang out before we part ways again.
It's been, I would say fun, but it's been more
Yeah,
interesting than fun.
It's not exactly the word for it, but it's been something, and, you know, but I appreciate y'all's help.
We're rooting for you.
We're rooting for you guys, so. And eventually, you know, we'll have another face-off. Fortune's Favored versus the Yo-Ho-Hos.
Hell yeah. And Carol and I need to have another jam sesh.
Exactly. We'll see how we do. Anyway, take care, guys. And they will leave. And why don't we go in and take a break?
Sunune's light be with you.
And why don't we go in and why don't we go in and leave? And I'll start the meeting back up once I'm ready. Okay, so dinner has concluded. There were talks of doing some Father McKenzie shit.
Yes.
I need to
Listen.
know
Okay.
what you're doing.
I am sitting on the dock pretending to fish while I am, like, fucking
looking and
brain
listening
into
through
Pancake.
Pancake.
right.
And I'm walking up with Pancake.
Oh shit!
And I'm
you know
like-
what? Hang on, I forgot to do something.
I had to pull up Pancake's stat block.
You know what I really
sent
want
that
to do?
really cool cat stat block.
Yeah,
to use for
I am
Pancake,
using
right?
that.
Good. Heck yeah.
I really want to like somehow, I don't know how this would work, but I would love to like cast Detect Magic or something and just see what the fuck is going on with Father Mackenzie.
Father Mackenzie.
Because I feel like, I mean, it's a range, so it's like 30 feet. I can be hidden, I guess. It's just like,
I mean,
it'd be difficult. I feel like.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
Chi, if you end up, Isla is totally going to come to you at some point and say,
Okay.
hey, if you ever have like 4 spell slots at the end of the day and you don't want to save them, I have a message for Allie that I can't figure out how to find a bird to send
Yeah.
in this letter. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, she would be more than willing. She only has sending is a 3rd level spell. She only
I know.
she has 3 3rd level spell slots right now. So if it does take 4, she can't do it in one city. So
Written down somewhere.
it's literally, I'll count. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure it's at least 4.
just leave off on this weird ass part, and Allie's like,
That's it.
okay.
There it is. Thank God. I'm so glad I wrote this down. Okay. Good lord.
So we have sort of like Darren like looking through Pancake's eyes. Isla's coming up to Mackenzie with Pancake, and then I don't know what the rest of us are doing.
I'm trying to
Okay.
find somewhere that looks hidden enough to try to break in.
Okay. Hang on.
'Cause I've got-
we need to
Go
do a
ahead.
few things, and the first
Yes.
thing we need to do is change the music.
That's a good idea.
So let's do that.
Because like,
Claudia,
Get out of
go
here.
ahead.
it's
What?
it's 4 plus 7 more words, so you have to use 5 spells.
That's
So
2
this-
days.
I guess this is never gonna happen.
Just make it
It'll
shorter.
happen. It'll happen when I'm like
But it's
at
like-
a different level.
It's a letter that she poured her heart into.
Okay,
Add
well,
like a-
sometimes reality doesn't.
I mean, add like a don't reply until tomorrow thing in the middle.
How about,
Over 2
how about
days.
send it like right before midnight?
Add
when
like
it
a
switches
1
over?
of 2.
Yeah, send like over 2 days, and then be like, okay, now you can go.
When it like switches over, like right, we start them right before midnight, and then midnight comes and we finish.
I wish spell
You have to
slots are generated at
It'd be
midnight.
nice.
Yeah, you have to do
I
a
know
long
you have to
rest for
actually
that
do a
shit.
long rest of 8 hours. I know.
That would be really cool, though.
I mean,
That would-
you could do it with
11:59,
ascending
okay.
stone, but he would need the other stone
The other half of the stone. Yeah,
because that resets at dawn.
I know.
Yeah.
But would also only give us
2.
2.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I was gonna like just talk BS to Father
Okay,
Mackenzie, right?
Okay. So
What is
gonna
it?
say?
what is
Amanda, what is it
happening?
you want? Okay, we're
okay.
figuring it
So
out.
Isla plus Pancake,
Pancake.
which is technically Darren,
Mm-hmm.
for all intents and purposes, are gonna waltz up and talk to Father Mackenzie.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
You could
okay.
act like you're interested in Char. for
I was gonna
whatever
say I'm
reason.
just gonna want to learn more about his
Talking to
religion.
Papa Kenzie.
I mean, you.
hate that.
And
'Cause I-
while that is happening,
Daddy Kinsey.
Theron,
I was about to say, nobody say daddy.
I want to throw up. While that is
Sorry, Dad.
happening, Theron is sneaking aboard. Alternatively,
Yes.
correct.
Yes.
I hate this music, by the way. This is
Y'all have
very.
music?
Oh, we're in
Yeah.
roll 20. Wait, you're in roll 20, aren't you?
Yeah.
Are
Oh.
you?
You can turn up the music in roll 20.
Wait, I don't see you in roll 20
I don't
at
see
all.
you in roll 20.
Oh no, I don't.
I just refreshed it.
Oh,
Oh, there you go.
You'll get
Okay.
it. I can
Go under.
change it. Should I change the music?
I mean,
No, it's suitably creepy.
It's kind of
it's-
intense, though.
It is kind of intense. When we're
It's
But I
like
mean, I
maybe a little too
appreciate
intense.
it.
Hang on. Let's do.
I appreciate it though.
Let's
It's just a little much
do.
right now.
I don't know. I don't know what music to do. I'm on the eerie playlist because it seems like this situation
That's
might be a
fair.
little step past the somber playlist.
That's
So,
Fair enough.
fair.
Okay,
I think this
and
is
so-
okay for now.
while Isla and Pancake and Theron are doing their things, what are the rest of you doing?
I'm
Go
pretending to
ahead.
fish.
Darren can be teaching you how to fish.
Teaching.
Oh, I'm just pretending
Darren
to
is
fish
looking
because
through.
I am like completely just.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Darren is alive.
I'm inside Pancake.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm saying y'all could go sit with him so that it looks like you're all fishing together.
Yeah,
At least, I feel like at least Chi should be nearby Darren, so if something goes wrong with Father Mackenzie, you can, like, let
Father
me know.
Mackenzie.
Yeah, no, I agree. Give me 1 second while I look up the spell description.
I cast
How
spells
deep is the
upon
water under the
Pancake?
docks?
Oh, okay.
I mean, pretty deep for sizable ships to be here.
Okay, never mind.
You're gonna go hang out under the water?
I was going to, but not if it's going to be like a whole thing to get down there and then back up.
Yeah,
That's fair.
it probably would be a whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So I kind of want to do. I mean, I do see the importance of me. I don't know. I'll run it by y'all because I do see the importance of like me seeing what is going on and then just like, and then being able to communicate if something shitty happens. I do kind of wonder if clairvoyance would actually be helpful here. But then that means I won't be as like privy to like, I won't be as available either.
How
to-
does that work?
So basically, it would be great. It'd be great for seeing like maybe the inside of the ship or something. Maybe, depending on how thick. I think it's depending on how thick maybe the wood is of that ship. Because I think, or no, it's actually no. It's not necessarily a barrier affected thing. But basically, you create an invisible sensor within range in a location familiar to you, like a place you've visited or seen before, or in an obvious location that is unfamiliar to you, such as behind a door, around a corner, or in a grove of trees. The sensor remains in place for the duration. It can't be attacked or otherwise interacted with. I can either see or hear. I was thinking to see, and the range is a mile, so that's also something. So that might be helpful, but I want to be eyes as well for y'all.
Yeah,
So
because like there's a
maybe-
couple ways you could do that. Because you could do it near me to make sure that everything's okay, but you could also go to like the opposite end of the ship that I might not be able to get to.
Oh,
More stuff.
right.
The
Right.
range is a mile, though.
Yeah,
Could you see the whole ship
I think so.
theoretically?
I mean, I don't know how big ships are, but
In a mile? I would
mean,
guess
the
so.
ship's
I
not
would guess.
bigger than a mile.
yeah.
I just like with all the layers and stuff. Like I don't know how.
No, that's fair. That's a fair question. You can use the chosen sense, seeing or hearing through the sensor as if you were in its space. As your action, you can switch between seeing and hearing. A creature can see it if they like have see invisibility or like true sight or some shit. But I don't think that's gonna happen unless they feel suspicious about something. Yeah, I wish there was a way for me to like tune into being clairvoyant and then to what's actually going on elsewhere, but that's not how that spell works. So
And
that
you
would be
can't
great.
move it
So
either.
it's a point.
No.
You pick a point,
point.
within a mile.
Yes,
So you can't
Um,
see the whole ship.
not the whole ship, not from where I would be
But
located.
you could just pick a point and be like, pick a point on probably on the deck of the ship and be like, all right. Or I guess, I mean, it doesn't have to be like on the main deck, technically.
No,
I mean, if it's
no,
like
yeah.
a obvious place.
Yeah, so that could work. But again, I do like, I don't know. Again, I can't move it. I can't. So that might have to be something else. for some other time, because I think I need to be looking. I'll sit with Darren. Act like we are talking or something.
Yeah, same with Hoots. I'm very invested in fishing.
Very nice.
Not so much the mission, definitely the fishing.
Okay.
And I would probably mind link with oh shit, who would I mind link with? Probably Ronan, because then if shit hits the fan, she can be like, ah.
It's just like her.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
She's probably the one in
Uncanny.
more danger.
Yes.
Like, I'm gonna be like, walking on the ship.
More out in the open. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It lasts for an hour, right?
Yes,
That should be plenty of time.
that should be.
What am I missing?
I'll enroll in the fishing class too.
Okay, so everybody is fishing except.
Wait, I actually want to see. Do I have any? I don't think I have anything.
Do we have fishing rods? Do I need to go buy one?
I don't
I have
think
some.
I'm sure.
Oh, we can all post up with our.
Look, I don't mind yada yadaing through like whether or not you have fishing rods.
Okay.
They're probably really cheap too.
Yeah.
Or at least
I can't
not, like-
imagine you wouldn't have them on your ship. You know?
That's true.
Yeah. Okay.
And I have like tackle and shit.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We're set. So yeah, I think that is probably what we will be doing.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. Okay. So,
So are we
sorry,
doing
just
this
double
after?
checking. You are
Okay.
doing clairvoyance or you're not?
I'm not. I don't
You're
think this
not.
time
Okay.
around. No.
Okay.
But
So
just want people to know I
Theron-
have it.
And Isla and Pancake are going aboard this ship. But Theron will be separate, trying to stealth through other places.
Yes.
Is anybody is anybody playing as Orlana?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you would. Oh. Yeah.
We could have her break in on the other side.
We could
I mean,
have her
I'm
do
not
that.
saying like she necessarily has to be factored into the equation.
But just
but
what
I'm
would
just
you be doing kind of
making sure that like
Yeah.
she's
She's gonna, like,
covered or
Laying in wait under the boat in case shit goes
Ooh.
down, because she is a water genasi.
That's true.
it's fair.
in case I need to hop off.
Honestly, I like that idea. Okay, so I actually want to ask our ship, or where we would be,
Mm-hmm.
where Darren and all of us would be with the whole fishing thing. How far away is that from?
Well, are you planning to be fishing at your ship, or are you going to pick a piece of dock that's closer to the boat?
I was thinking we'd fish off the dock that's like fairly close by, but not like close enough to be suspicious. Not like right
Yeah.
up next to it, but like
Yeah.
maybe, one
Sure.
little bay over.
How many feet away from the boat do you want to be?
It's a dangerous question.
That is
How
a
close
thing.
do you have to be, T?
For just looking, I wasn't gonna impose. I was gonna say. I mean, I don't know. I feel like
I need to be within 100 feet.
you need to be within 100 feet. Okay.
Mm.
Okay, we can make that work.
Sure.
We can make that work. Yes. All right.
I'd say at least be over 60 because a lot of like the short range spells are like 60
That's
feet
fair.
range, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot that are 120, but
Yeah. No, I mean, and who knows what level this guy is.
The ship's length surpasses 100 feet. So,
Okay.
do you want to be positioned closer to the front of the boat or the back of the boat?
Sorry, I'm
Which
doing
side
math
are they
real
gonna?
quick.
That's
I-
okay.
Which side are they gonna
say-
approach on?
Well, the
I'll stay toward the
gangplank up
front.
to the boat is probably towards the center of it. But it's hard to say where they would end up after they get on the boat. And I mean, Theron technically could enter through some other way.
If there was someplace on the dock that we could be like kind of, are these like? This is gonna get really technical. If you don't know the answer, then that's fine. But so are these like you have like the land here, and then docks coming out this way where the ships pulling this way?
I imagine that.
Or are they like pulled right up sideways?
I imagine that there's dock that runs along the land, but then every once in a while there's a jut out that goes out into the water, and they pull in perpendicular to the land.
Okay.
Periodically. There are probably some boats that are parallel.
Okay.
Do we know which one this one is?
Well, you know what? We'll say that Father Mackenzie's boat is docked parallel to the land. We'll say that.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Is that better or worse? It's just
Well, if it's parallel, that
Worse,
means no
but
matter
Worse.
what, unless you're right up on the ship, you're not going to be able to. I'll just try and stick to the side that's closer to where you are.
You still will have to make a decision of whether you're going to be more towards the bow or the stern.
Yes.
For Darren. Darren will have to choose.
Yeah. I
whether
feel
he's towards
like
the back or the front.
I feel like more on the stern side. I feel like that would probably be closer to where that's generally where like captain's quarters tend to be. If you go inside, if you guys stay up on the deck, then it kind of doesn't matter, but if you guys go inside, probably toward the stern would be best.
Cool.
Okay. So.
And if I lose contact with Pancake, I'm just gonna keep trying until I
So you are
get...
sitting somewhere at the dock, probably 60 to 70 feet away from the stern of the boat. Okay, so Theron, where are you intending to try and enter?
Somewhere that's out of view of the main gangplank, because I know attention's going to be there when they're walking up.
Okay.
So probably like a side portal. Or
make a perception check.
Okay. 19.
19. With a 19, you can tell that there are a few people walking about on the main deck. You count maybe 4 shadows walking around on the main deck. 19's pretty good roll. You're peering through portholes and you see a number sort of below deck. There's really only 2 that seem completely dark to you. There's one at the bow, the front of the ship, that seems dark, doesn't suggest that anybody is inside it. Open porthole, you could very feasibly enter. There's one at the stern. It looks like that one is shuttered closed. It doesn't mean you couldn't enter through there, but it's not like immediately open. You might have to take a little bit of effort to, I don't know, you'd have to get up there closer to assess that situation. On the main deck, even though there are people walking about, there isn't really anybody up on the like up on top, like on top of the forecastle at the stern of the boat. So if you wanted to try and sneak up onto the top deck, you could technically do that. There's maybe 1 person at the front of the boat. But if you're trying to get inside the boat, it could be difficult trying to navigate around these people walking about on deck.
Yeah.
It's up to you. Yeah.
So my thought process is if it's open. There's
I'm
probably...
sorry. There's one other porthole that doesn't have a light on inside, or at least doesn't suggest that somebody is inside it, and that is, it's not necessarily below deck. It's within the forecastle. One of those rooms doesn't seem to have a light on inside, or doesn't seem immediately occupied.
Is that one open or like more easily accessible, or does it look shuttered like the other one on the stern?
It's not nearly as shuttered as the other one. It looks like maybe there's some sort of like window or covering, but it's not like the lower one is like blocked. Like they don't want you to see inside it. The one that's a little higher, like you could kind of see in it, but there is like a window that you would have to like open.
My thought process is, if it's shuttered, that I want to see what's inside, and they don't want me to see it.
Yeah, I know.
So I think she'd go for that one.
The shuttered
one? Yeah, and try to like pick it open. Somehow.
So, one, I need you to give me either an athletics, or I might allow acrobatics to try and get up to that window. And I will also need a stealth roll as well.
Okay, we're gonna go with acrobatics because athletics is bad. Acrobatics 16.
16.
And you said stealth?
Mm-hmm.
That's a dirty 20.
Okay. You were able to. It's slick because this is like wet wood and there's like some algae and stuff, but you're able to get there, and you get to the shutter. You do so pretty quietly, though it's a difficult task. It does seem like the shutter blocking the window is locked. So why don't you give me why don't you roll to unlock it, which I believe, I think it's like
Is it like some kind of dex?
Yeah, it's like dex, but you can add your proficiency bonus because you're proficient in thieves' tools.
Okay. So, dex and proficiency, so that's going to be +6.
That should be a decent.
Oh, nice. That's a 25.
Okay.
Ooh.
So, you deftly unlock the shutters, granting you passage into this dark room. Let's cut over to Isla and Pancake.
Okay.
What are you doing?
So, I'm walking up on the ship, and I'm not even like trying to be quiet. I'm like, "Hey, y'all! I was hoping I could speak to Father Mackenzie. When we were at that dinner thing for all the auction winners, he started talking about his religion, and I was like, that sounds kind of interesting. So I was wondering if he could tell me more about it."
Okay. A member of the crew, something you notice immediately is they're dressed mainly in dark clothing, and they have a brand on their forehead of
Jesus.
like 2 circles.
Fucking Christ.
And they keep a very straight face, and they just sort of say, and what is your name?
I'm Isla.
Will you please wait here one moment while we go talk to our father?
Of course, thank you.
I hate this.
And
so much.
they leave. This is your idea. This is you.
It's fine. It's fine.
A couple moments pass. I assume this is all happening concurrently with Theron, like, climbing up the side of the ship. And, they return with Father Mackenzie. And Father Mackenzie looks at, honestly very pleased to see you. And what do I owe this pleasure of you visiting on such a wonderful evening?
Oh, well, I wanted to learn more about the religion.
Make a deception check. Because I know that is not what you want to do.
Yeah.
19?
19. It's pretty good. 19.
I hope it was good enough.
Well,
Let's check. You're quite lucky.
Let's go.
You beat me by 2.
Because,
Oh, God.
You're lucky I rolled, like, kind of not super great.
I kind of rolled not super great either, so...
You see his uncomfortable grin widen as he looks at you. Well, of course, please follow me. And
Which way is he headed?
he's heading up and towards the stern.
Okay.
Which is where I want him to head?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Then I will... I will follow him.
Okay, so you follow him, and he heads up onto the main deck. You see 4 guys walking about on the main deck. You see 2 different stairwells leading down. And then of course, there's sort of like the upper portion at the bow and the upper portion at the stern. But he leads you inside the forecastle, the part at the stern. You enter a door. You immediately see a door on either side of you, but he continues forward to a door at the end of the hall and leads you into what seems to be the captain's quarters. It's this private room. It's very lavishly done, very nice 4-poster bed, cabinets. There's a nice table with various pieces of parchment and stuff spread out across it. And a couple chairs at this table. And he offers you to take a seat.
I sit down. While we're walking in, can I, really stealthily try and, look around for interesting things or things that stand out to me?
Give me a perception check.
I was also going to ask if I can sniff for anything weird.
Absolutely. Give me
Oh, God, that's so bad.
those.
11. Someone should have blessed me before we started this.
Pancake can't spell shit.
All right. It's hard to see more than what I've given you. But you're led into this private room.
Cool.
So you wanted to learn more about Shar?
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems interesting. I don't know a lot of things, so I want to learn as much as I can from as many people as I can. And I don't know anything about Shar.
Well, of course. I'm sorry, I just wasn't, You don't know how excited this has made me.
Can I insight check that?
Yeah, absolutely.
God, Amanda, I need
one.
to understand.
That one.
I need to understand. I have never been more terrified.
I
and
think this
more
is the
unsettled.
creepiest motherfucker I've ever had to play as, honestly.
Yeah.
Stop, Cindy, no, stop. Stop.
Oh,
We're just trying to laugh at it so we don't cringe.
Yeah.
I'm cringing. I'm literally gagging like every other word.
well, why don't I, ring for some text to be brought in and maybe also some tea as well. Would that interest you?
Don't drink the tea.
Sure, that sounds great.
Of course, of course. Yeah, and he will, sort of ring a bell, and eventually somebody returns with, several texts and, a tea kettle and 2 cups, and he'll lay those on the table.
Pancake's gonna hop up in Isla's lap. Well,
Sure.
while
I'm
they're
gonna
waiting
pet
for that.
Pancake.
Sure. And he will pour 2 cups of tea. And start sipping his own. All right, well, is there a particular place you want to start, or just the beginning, or
Let's start at the very beginning.
Well, of course. And he pulls out a book and pushes the cup of tea closer to you and starts scanning through and finding a good place to start. Let's cut over to Theron.
I'm somehow relieved that we're cutting over there.
Theron,
I'm stressed this whole time.
It's a dark room. I don't suppose you have dark vision, do you?
I do.
You do.
Half elf.
Then,
Heck yeah.
that's right. Do you enter the room? You've opened the window. Do you enter the room?
Can I listen and see if I like hear?
Give me a perception check.
Okay. 7.
7. I mean, it seems quiet. You know it's dark inside. You don't really have reason to suspect that anybody's in there. But I mean, you also hear just the sound of water lapping up against the side of the boat. So it can be a little difficult to pinpoint where noises are coming from.
Okay. I'm gonna take my bandana that Darren gave me and pull it up and start.
All right. You enter the room, and you see, honestly, before you really get a sense of what you're looking at, the first thing you smell is a strong scent of iron in this room.
No. Okay.
You see a table in front of you, and you realize that there are, like, shackles on the table, bolted to the table. And it kind of hits kind of seems somewhat familiar. You recall seeing a table similar to this in the sort of laboratory within that mansion in Gladisle. Not quite the same, but just sort of gives you kind of torturous vibes. Not great. Not really a good, first impression.
Stellar start.
You see on the far wall a skinny wooden table that seems to be lined with various weapons or instruments of torture, shall we say. And of course there is a door on the far wall as well.
Okay. Great.
Hey, on the upside, nobody's on the table.
That's
right
what I was
now.
about to ask. Do I like?
There's nobody on the table.
Okay.
There is an unlit candle that is set within a hollowed out skull, though, so that kind of is a vibe.
Oh, good. Is the blood that I smell fresh, or like was this room recently used, or?
It kind of, you sort of run your finger along it. It's not like brand new. Honestly, it seems maybe probably a couple days old.
Okay. Okay, so no one immediately needing to go after. Okay. Aside from the obvious weirdness of the room, is anything else like particularly Shar related standing out?
Give me a perception check.
Okay. No. That's an at one, so I don't see anything.
You're so taken aback by what you do see that it's very hard to look between and through that to find other defining details in this room.
You know, that's fair. Are there any mirrors in the room?
You do not see any mirrors in this room.
Thank God. Okay.
We're not quite to that level of kink.
Cool. I was more curious if there was like a shadow reaction to this. You know.
You probably wouldn't want to see it if there was one.
Okay. There's just the one door in and out.
There's the one door.
Okay. Do I hear anybody?
Give me a new perception check for the door, specifically.
Switching dice.
What was that?
It was a 1.
It was a 1. I mean, you don't hear anything. I mean, like, you hear the, like on any ship, the gentle creak of wood timbers as the boat just sort of subtly rocks within the water it's sitting in. You hear the lap of waves outside. You're so on edge and so disturbed that you're having a hard time, like, calming yourself down enough to pinpoint specific noises. You don't believe there's anybody outside the door, but you can't reliably tell if there's anybody outside the door.
That is totally fair. Okay, well, since I don't see anything in here other than the insanity I've already seen, I guess I'll try to kind of like very stealthily creep the door open and see if I'm like at the end of a hall or like where exactly I am.
Give me a stealth check.
Come on, new dice. Thank God. 23.
23.
Nice.
You very quietly creak open the door. You see a dark hallway. You can see light to the sort of north, which would be like the stern end of the ship. So you can tell that there are probably people that way. You can see a door immediately across the hall from you. You see a door like to the south that's pretty close to you. Both of those doors seem dark. Or at least in the opposite direction of where the light is. There's a couple doors to the northern end of the hall closer to where the light is spilling from. You can also tell that this hallway that you've opened the door into kind of does have a jut off to the side at one point, but it's hard to see around the corner from where you are.
Okay, so door across the hall, door to the south, 2 doors to the north near the light, and then the hallway just to the side. Yes?
Yep.
Okay. We're gonna check at least one more room before I do anything too stupid. Do I hear anything? Can I like go to the door across the hall and see if I hear anything?
Sure,
there? I know you said it's dark.
Give me a perception check.
16.
16. Quiet. You don't hear anything on the other side.
Slowly opening.
You open, I won't even make you roll for it. You open the door, you see a bunch of crates and sacks. It seems to be like a storage room. Most of what you find in here seems to be like general supplies, gunpowder, kind of the basics. Not necessarily like food, but just sort of like basic stuff that you would probably keep on a ship for supplies.
Okay. Close that one. Can I check the door To the you said door to the south is like
Door to the
kind of
south?
next door.
Sure.
Listening.
You go to check that door. Give me a perception check first, I guess.
9.
9. I mean, you don't hear anything, but like, your blood pressure's getting pretty high. It's you're having trouble figuring out if there is a threat or not. I will tell you, it does appear to be locked.
But it looks dark inside.
It looks dark. You don't see any light.
And it's next door to the torture room. So I think we're gonna try to get in. Okay, I want to try to open the lock. So Dex and proficiency.
Yes.
That is a 13.
A 13. You are struggling to open this lock. You try to get your thieves' tools in there, and one of your lock picks snaps. You can try again, but the DC is going to raise a little bit.
I'll try one more time.
Okay.
And then if not, I'll move on. Ooh, 24.
24. Good. The DC raised to 20. You are able to pull out the broken lockpick and get in there, and you're able to open the lock. And you're able to open the door. I'll give it to you quietly. You see in this room, this seems to be the brig. You see 5 cells. All of them are empty currently, as far as you can tell, but clearly this ship is designed to hold prisoners if it needs to.
Do I smell any blood in here?
Give me a perception check.
Not 20.
Nat 20. You catch the faintest whiff. It seems like maybe at some point the cell to the far right perhaps held a prisoner that was injured at some point. Kind of similar to the torture room. It's not fresh. It's not fresh blood, so.
Okay, so like a few days ago at the
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. I'll leave that room. Can I like lock it back?
Sure. Why not?
Okay.
I'll give that to you.
Okay. Okay, I got the door to the south. I got across the hall. Might regret this, but we're gonna try it.
We haven't had something so tense in a while.
Okay. You said there are 2 doors at the north that are close to the light. I don't want to go in them, but I want to kind of get close and see if I can overhear any of the crew talking.
Sure. Give me a stealth check as you approach these doors.
Please do. Okay, that is a 15.
15. Good job. Yeah, you're able to get a little closer. You're kind of right in between both doors. If you were to step forward another like 4 or 5 feet, you'd probably be in the light. You're just in the last bit of shadow, but you're kind of splitting the difference between both doors. You got one to your left and one to your right.
Okay. Do I hear
facing
anybody?
north.
Do I hear anybody
Give me
talking?
a perception check.
I need to roll better perception. 13.
13. You do hear some noise. You hear like mumbling that you can't really make out, but it's faint to your right. It seems almost sort of rhythmic in nature, but you can't discern the exact words. The roll's just not high enough for that. To your left, you catch like a subtle subtle noises, like a swaying of rope or slight move or stretch of canvas, some subtle maybe sighing noises, just really quiet stuff to your left.
I'm so curious, but I so don't want to get caught while I was on the ship.
I wish I could give you more, but
I know.
this is a crappy roll.
I know, it was a really bad roll.
I feel you, man.
Okay.
Also, to these doors, as on your way to these doors, you would have passed the little hallway off to the side.
Oh, I would have? Okay.
And you would have seen that there, in that hallway, really the only thing is a stairway going up.
Okay, no other doors or anything?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Let me... Up. Stairs. I have not taken as many notes in so long.
I know, yeah.
Okay. I might regret this, but we're gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna try to quietly creep open the door on the left and see if I can hear what's going on.
Okay. Give me a stealth check.
That's cocked. Try that again. That is... It's a nat 20. Thank God.
You very quietly open the door to the left, and you see that this is for all intents and purposes, is the barracks. You see numerous hammocks hanging and several individuals that are asleep in these hammocks. And that's the sighing and silent, quiet noises. And that creak of rope and canvas or the hammocks just subtly swinging with the rock of the boat.
Can I get a good look at any of them?
With a nat 20 stealth, you're very, very quiet. They are similarly clothed in dark clothing, and they all have this double circle brand on their forehead.
Okay. I'm going to take off my bandana and disguise self as one of them.
Okay.
So I can walk around.
You disguise self as one of them. Smart. Very, very smart. And we will pivot over to Isla. But before we do that, I think we should leave and come back in.
Yes.
That's a good idea.
3 minutes left. So, Theron has just disguised herself as one of the crew. And we're going to pivot over to Isla. And you were with Father Mackenzie, and he starts pouring over this a text about Shar. And he starts reciting things about this dark goddess of loss and darkness and dungeons and all of these things. And starts going on and on about how great she is and how important she is and how we've all experienced loss and darkness and how it's important to have a deity that oversees that side of ourselves that's so often pushed aside and tried to be hidden away from other people. He also starts going on about how frustrated he is by how small her following is. And you hear him start to talk about his disdain for Selune and how this goddess of the moon sort of overshadows and obscures the power and importance of Shar. And as he's reciting this, he sort of looks up. Don't you agree?
I think we've all experienced loss, and I recently lost someone really important to me. So I guess I can understand why we would need her to oversee that, because it's been tough so far.
I'm really sorry for what you've experienced. Would you like to talk about it?
No, I don't know if I'm ready to talk about it yet. Not like in detail.
Was this someone close to you?
I mean, we were getting that way, I guess.
You should know that you're so important, you're so powerful. You don't need these other people holding you back and tying you down.
Can I insight check that?
Oh, absolutely.
You should.
No. How much do you want to bet I roll below a 10?
Well,
This guy really out here telling everybody that.
MJ.
damn it.
No.
Oh my god.
What'd you
What
get?
did you roll?
Nat 20?
For 21, so I don't know if that...
Uncomfortably so. You feel like he is putting you on some bizarre pedestal. He holds you in some extremely high regard, and you don't understand why.
Oh, God.
And he watches you with intense intrigue and excitement. I feel so uncomfortable.
I'm glad you do, because... I mean, yeah, true, Benji, but also thinking what we think happened.
I guess I'm not quite sure what you mean. And I'm not even, like, pretending not to look uncomfortable. I'm very confused by what he just said.
Honestly, he doesn't seem to register, like, your uncomfortableness, or if he does, he doesn't care. He's so infatuated, it doesn't matter to him, based off of your very high insight roll.
I cannot believe my one good roll of the game.
And he says, in the few moments that we've interacted, I can tell that you were just destined for great things. I know that you will become something important. I know that Shar has a plan for you.
How so? What makes you think that about me?
It's a feeling. Make an insight check for me. Another one.
Lightning doesn't strike twice, Amanda. 11.
11. I know, it wasn't quite close enough to, I think, to piggyback off of the 20.
I know.
It's like he, at the very least, you get this vague sense that, like, he either knows more than you do, or, like, I don't know, has some weird, like, feeling about you that you can't quite place. But he'll continue with, I understand that you feel a strong connection to the people that you're traveling with. But I do think that if I were to take you under my wing, you could accomplish great things.
Do you think that Shar would help me figure out why I'm here?
Absolutely.
Can I try an insight check and see if he understands what I mean by that?
For sure.
Five.
5 total? Okay. He's very hard to read. You feel so uncomfortable in his presence that you're having a hard time, like focusing your attention on his features and his eyes in order to tell if he is lying or hiding something or telling the truth. Like, he's a weird dude.
Do you mind if I get up and pace for a little bit? Is that okay?
Get up and pace? Like walk around?
Yeah.
Sure. Do you need water? Would you like some tea? Do you need...
I'll pick up the tea, but I'm not going to drink it. I'll pick it up and like pace
That's
with
fine.
it. Do you think does Shar bring people back to life? Does she do that? Is that like something that she can do?
I think it would be very rare for her to personally do that. But I mean, there are many people that follow her. I mean, why do you ask?
No reason. Just ask him for a friend, you know?
Make a deception check.
No reason.
24.
24? Ooh,
Yeah.
24? Ooh, that does not beat a 25, though.
Oh,
Shit.
25 is better than 24.
A does not seem to believe you. He sort of watches you amusingly, and you can tell that he probably has seen through your deception, but he is choosing not to poke further.
I actually picked that up, though.
Yeah, I'll give that to you.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna, like, as soon as I realize that he, like, totally didn't buy that, I'm gonna, like, clam up and be like,
Yeah, he's just sort of
yeah,
like, oh, really? Interesting.
no, it's not that interesting. I'm gonna keep pacing and like stare at the floor. Like I'm really uncomfortable now, but I'm also like out of the corner of my eye trying to see anything in this room.
Give me a perception check.
It's not that great for perception. 14.
14. I mean, it's hard to tell. Most of the stuff that's on the surface of the table that's spread out don't seem like super specific. It's generic stuff, maybe just sort of like a generic map. I mean, he's got like a chest or like a cabinet sort of in front of his bed that has a lot of different like drawers in it, but they're all closed. You don't have an immediate assumption of what could potentially be in this room that's of importance.
Okay. I'm gonna jerk my head up and say, do you have like a magical way to get a physical letter to someone? I I haven't had any luck with this so far.
Now,
no
who
one
is
like
so important that you need to get a letter to them?
someone who I was maybe on the way of learning to really like. I tried to get someone to like get a carrier pigeon to take it to him, but they said that's not how birds work.
He will look at you, be like, Isla, there are far more important things than these human attachments. You need to be thinking of the bigger picture.
I don't know, it feels pretty important to me right now.
Perhaps with time I can help you see perspective. I need you to make a...
No! I knew it! Oh,
I need you to make... Hang on. Let me double check what it would be.
As long as it's not wisdom, I'm okay.
We'll see. Hang on. Yeah, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
God damn it. Okay, what? Well, Pancake doesn't know that this is happening.
No. Wait, no, he does!
Honestly,
Maybe.
Darren, you see...
Oh.
You see
Oh.
Father Mackenzie start to verbally recite a spell. Isla, give me your wisdom save.
I'm using a different die. I'm using my B die. 19?
You are so fucking lucky because the DC was 18.
Oh my god, who is this guy?
I rolled a natural 18, so...
For a moment, you see Father Mackenzie start to recite a spell and tries to tell you to sit at the table and wait until he gives you an order. But you feel yourself shake off the spell, this compulsion. And then you see he notices this. And he starts to get a little angry. We're going to shift over to Theron. Theron, you're below deck.
Okay. So I'm assuming like walking out of the...
Yeah, you have closed the door to the sleeping quarters. You are disguised as a member of the crew with the brand on your forehead. Yeah. So.
Okay. Now
you have a door across the hall from you, and then you have the open area where the light is coming from to the north.
Okay. Now that I have potential fallback, I'm gonna try to quietly crack open the door where I heard the rhythmic.
Give me a stealth check.
Okay. Fuck. Nat one.
The door opens noisily with a creak and groan of the timbers. You open the door into what seems to be like a very small sort of like chapel of sorts that's on this boat. You see a couple pews and an altar at the front. The source of the sort of rhythmic sort of mumbling is an individual sitting in the front pew to the right. And he's sort of like like nodding in rhythmic motion as he's reciting some sort of like prayer or chant. And he sort of stops as you open the door and looks at you, and you see on his forehead a very fresh brand on his head. And he looks at you, sees that you're another like dressed and looking individual, and sort of goes back to his nodding and his chanting.
Thank God. Okay, what do I notice in the chapel at large, I guess?
Give me a perception check.
Nat 20. So
Nat
25.
20. It's very simple. There's sort of a tapestry at the far end of the room that is just plain tapestry, and it's a purple circle and then a black circle within. So black circle with bordered by purple, essentially. And it's sort of like a sort of stone and wood bare altar. There's a similar like candle that's set into a hollowed out skull. There seems to be some sort of like Bible or book or text that's opened up on the altar. This individual is the only person in the room. He's dressed like the rest of the crew. It's just like his brand on his forehead seems very recent. And he looks gaunt and pale. And I'd say you can just see maybe just sort of barely peeking out of like the collar of his clothes or his sleeves, like that he's probably been injured or harmed in some way. And it doesn't take a lot to put two and two together and guess that perhaps he was very recently inducted into this crew.
Yeah. Do I recognize him at all? Like, have I seen him around the city?
No.
Okay. Are his eyes open or closed while he's mumbling?
Closed.
Do I recognize the, like, language at all?
It's common. It seems to be just like a simple like prayer to Shar of some kind.
Okay. I want to try to like calmly but like quietly, like I'm trying not to interrupt or something, go look at the text that's open.
Sure.
And just see what's...
You walk up and inspect
there.
the text. It seems to be just a religious text to Shar. It talks about, you know, her greatness, in spite of, like, the light that tries to hide her or obscure her. It talks about the hope of the hope of the cold embrace of everlasting darkness. But
I'd
it's
like to
generally
applaud the way you casually said that.
Yeah. That's kind of the gist of it.
Okay. Casual.
Yeah, you know, as you do.
Okay. To keep up pretense,
Mm-hmm.
I'll like kind of go in front of the altar and kneel for like a minute, like I'm praying, and before I go.
I like it. Sure. You do that, and then you leave and exit back into the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
You have the area to the north where the light is coming from, and then you've got the hallway with the stairs leading upward. Of course, you could always exit the way you came.
I could. But I don't know what's happening upstairs, so...
You do not.
So I probably won't. Okay, I'm gonna... Before I go into the lit up area, I want to try to listen one more time and see if anyone's closer.
Give me a perception check.
That is an 11. That's even worse.
An 11. It's hard to tell. You can kind of get general noise coming from the north, but it's really hard to pinpoint like a number or location.
Okay, so I can't tell if they're like close by or anything.
It's hard to tell.
Okay, we're going to try to just like casually walk in and like not really make eye contact, but just like I'm heading somewhere.
Sure. You enter this room, and this seems to be kind of like the main area below deck. There are a couple like tables with benches where probably people like chill and eat or something. You see like 4 cannons, 2 on either side, and there's like an individual that's sort of lounging near these cannons. There's one to the right and one to the left. Give me just a general either deception or performance check as you try to nonchalantly walk across the room.
We're gonna go with deception. 13.
13.
Lucky number.
13.
Not good.
Okay. Honestly, their passive insight isn't super great. They certainly notice you, but you're not necessarily trying to be stealthy. But their passive insight is pretty low, so they don't necessarily pay a lot of attention to you outright. You can tell that they notice you, but they seem to both be kind of like busy or focused on other things. You see ahead of you there is a staircase leading upwards. There is a kind of like a jut out where like a portion of the wall is closer to you and there's a door on that wall. And then further back there's another door that's closer to the stairs, but still on this level.
Okay. Are both doors in pretty plain view of the people that are in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one that's further away, that's not on the jut out, is a little further out of sight. The one on the jut out is pretty close to the guy to the right. So, just be aware of that.
Okay. Do I go up to stay down? Okay, I'm gonna try the one that's further.
Okay. You walk across and head to the door that's further. It's not locked. It opens. It opens into a room that seems to be kind of storage. Seems to be food storage. And you see a couple doors on the right wall leading off of this room.
Okay.
And just by the way the walls taper, this seems to be like pretty close to the stern, like end of the front of the ship.
Okay. Do I like smell anything? Like maybe a kitchen would be attached to.
Give me a perception check.
9.
Hard to tell.
Switching dice.
Hard to tell.
Okay. I'll go listen at one of the doors.
Yeah. You can give me another perception check.
Better. 21.
21. Honestly, I'll give you both doors. You don't hear anything at either door.
Okay. Do I see any like light coming from under the door?
No.
Softly open, like crack.
The first door opens into a kitchen.
Cool.
Empty. Nobody's cooking at this hour. But this is the kitchen, and you see the port window at the far wall. This would have been the other dark room on the lower deck that you could have entered through.
Okay, cool.
The other room is just a storage closet. It doesn't really house much of anything.
Okay. Is there, like, a piece of food or something readily accessible that I can grab, like I was going in there for it?
I'll say, yeah, you can probably find, like, a crust of bread or something.
Okay. I'll grab that and go back out.
Sure.
And I'm guessing they're still there. Hadn't been long.
Yeah, they're still there. Give me another deception and or performance roll. 11.
Yeah.
Let me double check. You know what? Okay, one guy pays you no mind. And then the other guy sort of stops and looks at you. Oi. What are you doing up?
Couldn't sleep. Figured a snack might help.
Give me a deception roll at disadvantage because you don't know what this person sounds like.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Fair. Thank God. I got a 19 and a 17.
19
So,
and
23.
17?
So 23.
Okay. They say, get back to sleep. You've got work to do in the morning.
Just nod and head back towards the
You nod and head back. Let's cut over to... So, Darren, you have seen through Pancake's eyes and ears that Father Mackenzie has attempted to cast a spell on Isla.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna pull out of Pancake, look at Chi, and say, he just tried to cast something. It didn't work. Now he looks mad.
Should we go? Should we, we can't just leave her there?
I'm gonna go back in and
Okay.
keep an eye out. If shit gets dicey, Pancake's pop into his little pocket dimension, and we'll rush in.
I'm gonna go ahead and stand up just so that I'm able to move in case I need to.
Okay. You pop back into Pancake. Isla, you see Father Mackenzie getting angry.
I can sit down. I'm really sorry if my pacing was upsetting you or anything. And I sit down.
You sit down. Isla, I don't think you fully understand. I need you.
Inside check.
Sure, give me an
She said inside check.
inside check.
4.
Can I also have Pancakes
Yeah.
sniff the tea?
Sure.
Sip the tea.
See if he put some like fucking
4
GHB
for your
in that
inside
shit?
check? You ain't got no fucking clue.
That's
Come
fair.
on,
Listen
No,
to
but
me,
this-
I have a +1 and I either roll well enough to maybe succeed
Yeah.
or I roll shit.
So it's an 18 for sniffing the tea.
18. Father Mackenzie's tea smells normal. Isla's tea smells off.
Fuck all of that. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god.
I'm gonna pop back out and tell she, okay, yeah, he tried to lace her tea with something. And then I'm going to cast message to Isla,
What's the range on message?
120 feet,
Okay, you're good.
and I'm gonna say, I know you probably knew this already. Don't drink the tea. It's got shit in it. I don't know what it is, but it smells really off.
Now, Isla, I'm just gonna let you know. Message specifically, you have to speak a response.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, just be aware of that.
And I'm gonna pop back in.
I'm gonna say. Now, can I like specify that I only want the first 2 words of what I'm about to say to be sent back through message?
Honestly, I think that's fucking clever. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say
There's nothing in the
there's
nothing in the
nothing
spell
that says
description
you
that says you
can't.
can't.
So I
Yeah.
assume that you can choose however much of this, whatever you're about to say, to be used for the message and such.
So only the first 2 words are gonna get sent back. I understand that you need me, but maybe I could like be a spy and stay with my group still and like
Give me a deception roll.
Clever. Oh.
Never been so stressed.
I hate
Dude,
that
my
he
heart
beat my
rate.
last deception roll, so I don't even feel comfortable with the dirty 20.
Dirty 20? So is that what
Yeah.
you got?
Yeah. But my last one was a 24 and he beat me, so
I know. I rolled well last time. A spy. But I don't need you to spy on them. I just need you.
in what capacity are we talking that you need me?
Isla, and he gets uncomfortably close to you. You serve a greater purpose. There's something special about you, within you, you don't even understand.
You're right. I don't. Can we like put a pin in this and come back to this at a later date?
He puts a hand on your wrist.
Oh,
And he says, Isla, I would like you to stay.
I don't know if I can. I've got a lot of things that I'm working on, and I really want to find my important person, and I've got a lot of things. I'm still really looking to figure out who I am as a person.
We can find that person together. I'll help you. I have the tools you need.
You have a way to send a letter to someone?
I don't have a way to send a letter, but I can find a route to him.
Oh no!
We need him too.
No! Shut up!
You don't like him, though.
No, but he still serves a purpose.
Why don't you like him?
Because he has something that should be mine.
Oh shit. Okay, he knows. Okay.
Are you gonna hurt him?
Only if I have to. Only if he resists.
You know he's going to resist. That's not acceptable. And I'm gonna take my hand and put it on my lap.
He doesn't let go. He's got your hand in a vice grip, so you would need to make a strength check to pull your hand away.
First, I'm gonna try, please let go of me.
I don't understand why you're being difficult about this.
Because I care about him.
Well, you shouldn't. And I think we should roll initiative, but I think we should end here,
Yeah.
and we
Oh
will
my
pick up
God.
with this next week because I think
Oh my
he's
God.
gonna attempt to cast things, and I
Shit.
think you're gonna attempt
Yeah.
to thwart things, and
That's okay. That's okay. We're not far away. We can.
yeah, Darren, you see he doesn't let go of her arm. He's gripping her arm, and you see him getting angry. You hear what he's saying. Theron, you don't know what's happening, but you're
No, I
below
know.
deck.
You are correct. I am still below deck.
But Darren saw like the path that it was to get to the captain's quarters. So I think we're okay. Isla just has to survive.
Woo! Woo!
Yeah, I'm gonna like pull out.
I
and
can't believe you succeeded on that wisdom save.
Was that suggestion? What was it?
Gios.
Come in.
He has
my
such an OP spell.
fucking
I
God.
freaking love that
No.
spell.
He has Gesh. He has Gesh. So he's
Y'all
like,
don't understand. Depending on
like-
the level he cast that at, it could have affected me for years.
that's like a 5th level
Yeah.
spell.
Yeah.
That's like a 5th or 6th level spell.
Shit.
No, depending on the level you cast it at, it affects you for a longer amount of time.
It
though.
does.
You only get a save every 30 days.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's just broken.
Oh,
I feel so uncomfortable playing this character.
Amanda, I need you to back the fuck up from the mic the next time you talk in this voice.
I know, I'm like leaning in, I'm like,
you're playing him well, and I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
I hate Father McKenzie.
Yeah.
I don't
But
think
now
he
you know
understands how
why.
fast my heart
Yeah.
is pounding.
All right, Misfits, and that brings us to the end of tonight's game. To support us, please like and subscribe. Every little bit counts. And other than that, I really hope you enjoyed the session, and I'll see you again next time.